Back at it today with another season preview, as today we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays. No real intro as usual, let's get right into the video. The Blue Jays are coming off a pretty disappointing season. Yes, they finished with 90+ wins for the second straight year, but they were swept in the wildcard round by the underdog Seattle Mariners. And at this point, after 2 straight 90-win seasons and not one playoff win to show for it, questions are starting to arise. But this offseason, they've made some pretty intriguing moves. They've picked up some impact players in Kevin Kiermaier, Chris Bassitt, Dalton Varsho, Brandon Belt, and Erik Swanson. But they have also lost a couple key names in Ross Stripling and Teoscar Hernandez. Now looking at this team offensively last year, they were one of the best in baseball as they had a 760 team OPS which ranked 3rd and 200 home runs which ranked 7th. And when looking at this year's projected lineup, we have to start with their superstar in Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who last year hit .274 with 32 home runs and an .819 OPS. It was a step down, at least offensively, from his 2021 campaign where he nearly won the MVP award, but he took huge strides defensively at first base, and this year I think he's going to bounce back offensively and continue to play Gold Glove defense. Toronto also has another star in their infield in Bo Bichette, who last year hit .290 with 24 home runs and 13 stolen bases. Bichette is one of the best offensive shortstops in the game today. Yes, he is lacking defensively, but I think he's still going to improve over time. He is still young, so he has a lot of time to improve on that, and with how good he is offensively, defense really isn't the most important thing in the world. Another very important piece to this Toronto offense is George Springer, who last year hit .267 with 25 home runs and 14 stolen bases. They have another really good infielder in Matt Chapman, who last year hit .229 with 27 home runs, and he also happens to be one of the best defensive third basemen in the game. I also got to mention the big pickup this offseason in Dalton Varsho, who last year with the Diamondbacks hit .235 with 27 home runs and 16 stolen bases. They also have one of the best catchers in the game today in Alejandro Kirk, who last year hit .285 with 14 home runs and a .787 OPS. Another really good but really underrated bat in this offense is Danny Jansen, who last year hit .260 with 15 home runs and an .855 OPS. As I mentioned earlier, they also picked up Brandon Belt from the Giants, who last year only hit .213 with 8 home runs, but he's been much better in the past, and I think he's going to be much better this year. Another decent bat in this offense is Whit Merrifield, who last year hit .250 with 11 home runs and 16 stolen bases. And they also have a couple other bats in this offense that are probably going to get some consistent reps in Kevin Kiermaier, who they picked up from the Rays this offseason, and Santiago Espinal. So like I said earlier, this offense last year was one of the league's best, and considering they pretty much swapped out Teoscar Hernandez for Dalton Varsho, I think it's safe to say they're going to be one of the league's best yet again. Now getting onto their pitching, it was average last year as they had a 3.87 team ERA which ranked 15th. Looking at the starting rotation, I think Alek Manoah has to be the ace at this point, as last year in 197 innings he posted a 2.24 ERA. They have another really good pitcher who would be the one on a lot of teams across baseball in Kevin Gausman, who last year in 175 innings posted a 3.35 ERA with 205 strikeouts. They also picked up one of the biggest names in the market this offseason in Chris Bassitt, who last year with the Mets in 182 innings had a 3.42 ERA. Getting onto the back end of the rotation, they have Jose Barrios, who last year in 172 innings posted a 5.23 ERA. Don't let those numbers fool you. Before last season, Barrios was one of the best pitchers in baseball throughout his career, so I think it's safe to say he's going to bounce back in 2023. As for the 5th and final spot in this rotation, I think it's going to go to Yusei Kikuchi, who last year in 101 innings posted a 5.19 ERA. Also want to mention Hyun-Jin Ryu, who is going to be back mid-season. He's out with an elbow injury right now, but if he's back and fully healthy, I definitely think he's going to slot into this rotation. One other name I just want to mention who probably won't even see the big leagues this year is Ricky Tiedemann. He's a number 32 prospect in baseball, and he's going to be really good, I think, and you never know, he could see the big leagues, but I just wanted to mention him. Now getting onto their bullpen, it was pretty solid last year as they had a 3.77 bullpen ERA which ranked 13th. This bullpen is headed by Jordan Romano, who's been one of the best closers in baseball over the past couple seasons, as last year he posted a 2.11 ERA with 36 saves. They also have Anthony Bass, who was one of the best relievers in the game last year as he posted a 1.54 ERA. And they also have 5 other relievers, yes, 5, who all had a sub 3.2 ERA last season in Adam Cimber, Yimi Garcia, Tim Maiza, Zach Pop, and Erik Swanson. So this bullpen, like I said, was pretty solid last year, and I think it has the potential to be top 10, maybe even top 5 this year. They have a lot of really good arms in this bullpen. Alright, so now that we went through this roster top to bottom, let's take a look at their 2023 outlook record-wise. As you know by now, I'm a big fan of this offense. I think they have potential to be top 5 yet again. And for their starting rotation and bullpen, I think they also have potential to be top 10. So as a whole, I think the Blue Jays are one of the most well-rounded teams in baseball. I think they have potential to win 90 to 95 games. Now, will that be good enough to win the AL East? I'm not too sure. I think this division is one of the most unpredictable in baseball. There are so many different outcomes that could happen in this division, so I'm not too sure if that will win the division. But I still think the Blue Jays are going to be a really competitive team this season. I think they're absolutely a playoff caliber team. Let me know what you guys think of the Blue Jays down below. Thank you so much for watching and continuing to support, and I'll see you next time.